Welcome to the Jodo cast, everybody, the Star Wars gaming place where we talk about Star Wars games and play Star Wars games and that sort of thing. Uh, we're coming to you with breaking news, I guess. Atomic Mass Games Ministravaganza did not happen because they got COVID, I think. And so, anyways, their big ordeal got postponed, yet they still were nice enough to give us all the announcements they were going to give us anyways, just I guess without their commentary. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at all of the Legion announcements, and there was a little bit of X-Wing, uh, just a little bit, but mostly Legion. So we're going to talk about Legion stuff. A lot of new product announcements, and most importantly, looks at those products.
And to be fair, this is only the first day of the original schedule. So I don't know, they could announce stuff like tomorrow too. I was assuming they might announce like officially do a thing with Ewoks or whatever, but we haven't got that yet, so there could be more.
Yeah, I will clarify, this is day one of Ministravaganza news. If there's more tomorrow, we might be back with more tomorrow if we're not too busy.
Yeah, it's not clear if they're like following their original schedule or if they just decide to put all the announcements out the first day. We don't really know.
It seems like they could have been because, like I know
it's kind of a lot.
The first thing that they had was the Scum and Villainy, and then they were supposed to have a Hive of Scum and Villainy, Legion panel, and then they were supposed to have a Battle of Yavin panel. It seems like about the only thing we didn't get from day one is they were going to have a painting thing with Ewoks, so we didn't get a closer look at Ewoks. Looking at possible stuff for tomorrow, there's something called Need for Speed, Legion Hobbying, whatever that is.
It's gotta be the AA5, right? Like painting the scum version.
Yeah, possibly. And then like
actually swoop bikes.
And then there's
swoop bikes.
Making a X-wing diorama. So
okay.
So probably not any new content or announcements out of tomorrow. Let's see. And then on Saturday we got painting battle droids, full of surprises, a Star Wars stream. So we could possibly see some more stuff on Saturday. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But as for what was announced today, should we start with?
Let's start with the new units, because all of the other stuff are technically sort of existing units packaged in new ways. So let's look at the new units.
Okay, well let's talk about the ones we sort of knew were coming. And
they had mentioned the swoop bike riders, correct?
Well, they in the last Ministravaganza we saw a like a render of some swoop bike minis.
Sounds right.
These look really cool. So what we've got here, they look. I can't quite tell if the bases are larger than the bases that come with the what are they? The X-34s.
I doubt it. Bikes. I'm guessing these are just a little shorter because of the swoop bike shape. You think?
I don't know. I think
no, the base is probably normal.
Yeah, I think they're the same. It's just they might be not as long as the Imperial speeder bikes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Before we get to the sculpts, these guys they're mercenary and they can work with the rebels or the Republic, which is cool. And
and they're a unit of 2, I believe that's confirmed on the back of the box.
So they're probably going to be similar to the Imperial speeder bikes, but I do notice that each of these people has that like
vibro axe.
Yeah, vibro pike thing, so maybe they have melee.
That would be cool if they're doing like hit and run melee stuff.
They may not have melee, but maybe they'll have like a overrun, because what's the one that overrun type attack where you pass through them and do damage?
Fluttercraft.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That'd be a thematic way to do it.
My favorite.
And I assume they might have just pistol attacks and no gun built into the bike. You know what I mean? Like no front arc shot. That's me kind of assuming, but could be.
The other thing I really like here is the art on the side of the box is just fantastic, and it has a Togruta on the swoop bike, which
Yeah.
we don't see in the sculpts. I think I'd rather have a Togruta than the either. Looks like the sculpts include a Snaggletooth and then a Cayuzo, maybe.
Or
He's
just a
definitely
guy
got
with a cool,
mask.
extremely huge turban.
He looks like he's wearing like a weird like it seems
Face
like
mask.
every like FromSoft game has like one weird like giant tall turban for magic users to wear.
The mask on his face and the orange eyes made me think it's a Cayuzo, which is not a very common species. Embo, the bounty hunter from Clone Wars, is the most notable version of that.
But the tall head makes me think Kiadi Mundi. It's
See.
Kiadi Mundi in disguise.
Mundi,
He
yeah.
survived.
Confirmed. He did not die in Order 66.
Yes, and
That's why
and
it's
that's
also compatible with the Republic. It'll come with a sculpt where he's not disguised because if you're playing him on Republic, you would have no reason.
Is that also Shakti on the side of the box?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Okay, good.
Yeah. They form a
And
Jedi
looks
biker
like
gang.
maybe Star-Lord is in the like background of that art on the other bike. In his like blue outfit.
I don't know. It kind of looks like a medieval, like a knight, like a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
In
I
the
said
foreground,
I think I
we've
said on
got,
Twitter that the guy reminds me of
Burger.
the one bad guy Schwarzwald from the Big O.
In the foreground of the art there, we've got the little Tatooine Scurrier, so those guys confirmed coming to the game. Probably Scurrier tokens. Your swoop bike riders have like sacks of Scurriers that they throw, and then they spread out and eat the
It gives like suppression to the enemy because they're annoyed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's confirmed.
confirmed.
There's this is just off the product page, so we really have no details other than their little description and
Well-
like the contents basically. But I mean, I think the sculpts are great personally. They're painted really well on the box too.
Yeah, the
Maybe we'll get the alternate head with the Togruta. That would be cool. But I like the
I-
ones on the box.
I
too,
thought-
so.
I
Snaggletooth
I
guy.
think we are getting a few different heads at least, because I remember one of the renders we saw back at the last Ministravaganza I thought there was a Twi'lek head.
That sounds familiar.
Ooh, with those Leku flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
I've already found some crazy details in the product description.
Oh yeah.
Able to be fielded by either the Rebel Alliance or gangs of mercenaries. I wonder if that means they have a Rebel faction card and then a mercenary faction card that says affiliation Republic.
Well, I mean,
Or
could
if
be,
they're-
but
In any case,
Probably a mercenary card.
these riders add a Fast and Furious new element. Fast and Furious crossover confirmed. What's his name?
Dominic Toretto.
Yeah, Dominic Toretto, one of the
Legion-
drivers.
Legion is all
This
about family.
expansion is about family. It also, I like the other part. It says, many groups across the galaxy see swoop bikes as the perfect battlefield companions. And it just sounds like somebody describing like a
friends.
pet. Like- Anyways, I think these look
Get out
very
there,
fun.
bro.
I love that each bike has a different sculpt. It's
Yeah.
not two identical bikes; they're very different looking bikes.
Yeah, like different models of the vehicle, which is very cool.
I wonder if
how
even
many
the-
little details and things they might have that are swappable. I don't know.
Right, like different steering vanes and things like that.
I want to know more. I wish we had more than just this product box. I want to see. I want like a full article. I know those days are
Yeah,
mostly
maybe
past, but-
maybe that's what we get when they have when they actually do Ministravaganza. They'll actually be able to give us these details rather than just hey, here's
start
the product.
speculation. But yeah, I mean, if they have cool multiple heads, I could see myself buying multiple. If the stats are cool,
Oh, that's speaking
might
of
want to
multiple
use them.
heads, I want a Troig, the pod race announcer species. We need one of those guys.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. Swoop bike riders. Cool beans. The next thing we've got in way of new things and something that we didn't know was coming is a IG series assassin droid expansion pack, operative expansion. So a box that comes with IG-88 and IG-11.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. A operative 2-pack.
Yeah. And I think, to me, it looks like it's basically, well, I don't know if you would call it two of the same sculpt. There's a couple different options, at least, for the leg pose, and a couple different options for the arm pose.
I mean,
They have slightly different belts on their chest, but they're basically the same model.
the biggest difference between IG-11 and IG-88 was always IG-88 has a single bandolier and IG-11 has a crossed bandolier, two bandoliers.
Yeah, and
IG-88 is always seen with like a sword on his back or something.
Yeah.
And IG-11 always had like a kind of like brown tints to him on some of his plating.
I think the sculpts look really cool. I don't quite like the one pose they're showing off for IG-88 where he's holding his like sniper rifle, like he's like he's in making like the Han Solo, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you pose, but he's holding his long gun in the offhand.
Yeah, it's a very awkward pose. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I hope it'll be easy to repose, but I mean, we'll have to see. That hasn't been super true of their recent sprues, so hopefully though. But I think it's kind of cool.
I hope it's easy to magnetize, so the neck joint and the waist joint can be just magnetized, so you can spin him whenever, and spin his head and spin his torso in circles.
Well, the box does
cool
box does say that one of IG-11's abilities is, or it says he has the ability to target multiple individuals in a whirlwind. So I don't know if he's gonna have. Maybe he'll have some kind of like super gunslinger. Like you'll have Gunslinger 5. He can target five units.
That would be cool. All we know is that there's 5 command cards, and we don't know if those are like what the mix of those would be. It could be kind of like the super tactical, where they're the same unit card with multiple different subtitles or whatever. But we don't really know. We do know it's Empire or Rebel.
That's cool.
But that could be like maybe IG-88's Empire only and 11 is Rebel only. We don't know.
Yeah, I can see it going both ways.
I could, because I mean they're both just bounty hunters, though. I could see them. I mean, I don't think that they really care which faction they work for. So,
yeah, I don't think IG is as discerning as I don't think would ever see Boba Fett for the Rebels, except for older Boba Fett.
Yeah,
will be for the Rebels.
Like the last paragraph on the box says, no matter what, all IG series droids have one thing in common: they're mercenaries who will side with either Rebels or Imperials with no moral qualms. So,
gotcha.
Is that true? I think that's true for these two guys. But all IG droids, I mean, the Magna Guards are IG series droids.
But I bet you could.
Hashtag not all IG series.
Put a restraining bolt on them. You can do whatever you want.
Where your morals go now, droid? I got control of you.
The other interesting little tidbit is it says something about IG-11, 2 distinct forms of programming with IG-11. So I don't know if that'll be some keyword thing or a command card thing, maybe a flaw card thing. It doesn't say that includes flaw cards, but
do you think he would have?
It's gonna be self-destruct mode, right? Or is it more like switching into nanny mode?
Well, the box does say that that IG-11 will self-destruct if he gets pinned down. On the back of the box, it says that. So,
unless you have the Mandalorian within range 1 to taking action to go, no, don't do that.
I could see them doing something like that. That's how he works as a crew card in X-Wing. Like, you can keep taking actions to prevent his timer from going off, which sounds kind of fun. Probably not, good in a game.
I wonder.
But fun.
I wish you could get like IG-88, have like IG-88 ABCD, like some kind of like a programming card or something. Just like it changes him
Oh, I
slightly
see.
how he.
Like he's
And then
got
get all
the
four.
like the spider droid and the snail droid. You're required to equip that programming upgrade.
That would be
But
cool.
there's just the ones unique to IG-88 where it says A, B, C, D. And yeah, I'm excited for that pack, especially because they'll be usable in Rebels. So I've
Yeah.
always loved IG-88.
I do think the sculpts are cool. Other than the head looks a little small to me. I don't know. I'm not going to quibble too much. It looks cool. It looks cool.
The head looks fine. And you can buy a bunch of these and take the heads to make your Mos Eisley Cantina bar scene.
Yep, very important.
Another use for these guys.
That's probably the 5th command card. Is I don't know.
Set up bar. They just take their heads off, assemble the bar, start pouring.
It should be a custom mission that comes with them. Yeah, that's IG-88. That's cool.
They seem cool. I'm very excited. I wish there were more droid units for the Rebels to make a droid heavy list with IG-88 leading the uprising.
Yeah.
So besides the new units, we did get the new OP kit. I know they demoed this, or they did have this on demo tables at Celebration, so some people have got to play this already.
Oh, nice.
Dynamic exit. Sounds like I don't know. I feel like there was a joke there from Letterkenny when they're listing off the different kind of goodbyes. The
I don't know.
Irish goodbye. The
I was gonna
Singapore
say it sounds
sayonara.
like a type of bowel movement, maybe, but the art, the little box art and art on one of the cards here is pretty cool. It's like a Weequay, like Imperial technician, or maybe he's in disguise, and he looks like he's like hacking or fixing
Wait a
some kind of
minute,
thing.
Looks like he's stealing the TIE Defender plans.
Oh yeah, that's what's
And
on
he's-
there. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I do see that. And then he's the art on this card. It looks like a mission specific little upgrade card, Slicer Gear, which looks like it helps you do stuff with the objective in this game. So maybe we have the details on that from
Yeah.
people who played it, but
While
you're trying to look
using
at like cargo
shut
tokens or
down.
something.
Yeah. While using shutdown, which is obviously a scenario specific action, secretly look at one face down precious cargo token at range 2 and in line of sight. Okay. My guess is those 5 tokens are going to be something of a shell game where you're looking to find the ones that are like got the
2 good ones and 3 okay ones or something.
Yeah.
Trying to get the best ones.
What's the thing under the tokens? There's just like a gray bar.
That's what I was wondering. It looks
looks
a
like
lot like a
some kind of-
movement thing, but
It looks like some kind of measurement thing. Maybe they were like, well, this doesn't work if we use range 1 as a minimum, but using speed 1 as a minimum, it kind of looks like it's about speed 1 distance, but
maybe it's a little thing that you use to like throw the tokens, like a little
oh yeah,
flinger.
that's a dexterity element.
Yeah, that's what everyone's been asking for in Legion. So
And then it
also comes with a cool mall alt art
In-
or
in,
expanded art.
yeah.
Patron chat suggestion is it's half range. If it was 3 inches, that would be half range. So
I guess it could
thing
be.
specific to because they can get away with funkier stuff in these one-off scenarios. I think
Yeah. But yeah, it comes with the mall alt art.
a malt art.
Yes, card, the Shadow Collective version of Maul. Looks very cool. Got some real Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park vibes going on in the art. They didn't give a lot of details, so I don't know if there's any other prizes in the kit other than the Maul alt art. I kind of hope so, because that would...
The Dianoga kit only came with the scenario stuff and one thing of alt arts.
Yeah.
Although
It came with those alt art, and you got 4 copies of it because they had it in all 4 languages.
right,
Oh yeah.
which is funny.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I got some German ones.
I don't know. Like I'm sort of torn because like I like this trend of having more of a scenario type thing
More
happening.
creative kits, yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of sucks that it seems like there's less prizes in the kit. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they give you a bunch of copies of like the stuff you need to do the scenario, so you get that also. But
Yeah, and I did the Dianoga one, and it did feel like something I would want to play again and try again because it was a neat scenario that might take a few tries to like figure out the best strategies for it. But I see what you're saying. It would if this is the case, it's going to slow down like the speed at which alt arts and things come out. And who knows if we'll ever. It's been a long time since we've seen like tokens as prizes. I don't think AMG has done any tokens. We haven't seen those since the Fantasy Flight days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, maybe they're over.
Could be a cost
that type
thing,
of
you know.
stuff,
Obviously, it's probably a lot cheaper to print cards than make acrylic tokens.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So that
But
organized play kit looks cool.
yeah,
Any other thoughts on that before we move on?
no, because that's about all we know about it. So just have to
Okay.
wait till it's in the store.
Uh,
But since we're on the subject of Shadow Mall, we did get the Battle Force chart for the Shadow Collective.
yeah.
So
So it's the first one we've gotten the full
yes,
breakdown on the. Okay. So the Shadow Collective Battle Force, and if you don't remember, the Battle Force is basically special army building rules that you can follow. And for Shadow Collective Battle Force, you're allowed to take as a commander. Your only options are Black Sun Vigo, Gar Saxon, or Pike Syndicate Capo. Your operative options are Maul, Arrival, so the new one, Bosk or Cad Bane, which is kind of cool. You get those extra options. I didn't expect that. Uh, Special Forces, Mandalorian Super Commandos are your only option for Special Forces. Core units, Black Sun guys and Pike guys. Support, Swoop Bike Riders. Heavy, the speeder truck. But I think what's most interesting is the uh, minimum number of core is 2 as opposed to the normal 3. And the maximum number of special forces is 4 when it's normally 3. So you can have 4 super commandos on your team, which sounds pretty cool.
also their Battle Force allows you to take up to 3 additional commanders or operatives. So
After
mean?
you have one required commander, and then after
Okay.
that you could have 3 commanders extra, or 3 operatives, or whatever mix. So you can
yeah,
have like a bunch of bounty hunters.
You could
yeah,
have Maul, Boss, and Cad Bane, and
yeah.
one commander.
Or I guess you could have Maul, the Vigo, Gar Saxon, and a Pike Capo if you really
Okay.
wanted. I don't know why you would, but
So you could maybe it would make you could just say, okay, you have to have uh, between 1 and 4 operatives with at least 1 commander.
And you can also have the AA5 speeder truck as a field commander, which
Oh
I assume
yeah,
would still let you override the 1 minimum commander rule, presumably.
yep.
I think for
I
Imperial
think they
or
said
not
that.
Imperial, run taking 4 super commandos sounds gnarly. I don't remember how expensive they were, but it seems good.
I don't know. I mean, if you run those with like just you put like naked pikes in
The
there, so that
pikes are waving in the air.
then they don't cost a lot of points. You could
Oh no. We just found out that's not a whip. That's not a whip.
Oh god. I was originally assuming that the Shadow Collective would feel sort of restricted compared to other factions as far as your options, and I guess it still is, just because it has less things. But with the variance on the unit rank restrictions, it seems like, oh well, you might run into one full of Mandalorians, or you might run into one full of pikes. You might run into one full of Black Sun or some kind of mix. So it seems like there'll still be a lot of. I assume someone will figure out the best thing, and you'll just only ever face that. But there's more opportunity for varied lists than I guess I was expecting.
And it feels thematically appropriate for that very specific window when they were all working together. That like, yeah, we could have
Yeah.
any mix of these criminal units, and we're throwing the normal mercenary stuff out the window, basically.
Yeah.
And what we were, I think we had mentioned before, just kind of brainstorming what possibly else could be added to this. I would assume other mercenary type units like the swoop bikes and the AA5, just kind of generic things they'll throw in. But in the show, the Hutts join in with them, so you could get like Gamorrean guards, that sort of thing.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I assume as
Or
more
Vajo press they could put in there.
as more stuff comes out, they'll continue to update these force charts and things like that, I would imagine.
You could do Bo-Katan. She would be in there. Okay. I'm pretty excited for Shadow Collective. Speaking of, well, Shadow Collective, we did get a look at Gar Saxon's combat shield, which is a unique upgrade that only he can wear.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah, we sort of
what is it
knew.
flip to? Flip card. So basically, he gains recharge 1 and shielded 1, which recharge
Just lets you, if you haven't,
if you didn't use it.
Yep, then you
Right.
can flip it.
So he
At
gets
the
a
end of
free
your
shield
turn.
every turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm remembering right, I'm looking it up quick. His is better than Sabine's, right? Because hers doesn't have the auto.
Right.
Yeah,
hers can only
recharge
come-
1 is just on recover, and his has the extra text to auto.
Yep.
Auto
Okay, so
recharge, which is
his
cool.
he can get it back if he recovers. If he's really desperate. Otherwise, if he didn't use it this turn, he'd get it back. So it's not every turn, but every other turn, basically, if he's getting shot at.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems nice.
He seems cool, like a nice guy. Okay. What I think is half really exciting, half kind of not exciting, but it's a good mix of exciting and boring. The Battlefroce starter sets are the other things they showed off. So they had mentioned a while back that the first battle forces we were going to be getting would be a Blizzard Force, Echo Base, 501st, and Separatist Invasion battle forces. I don't think they had mentioned that we'd be getting starter sets for them, but we are, which is cool. So let's look at.
No, I
Had
think
they mentioned that?
I think they did because they talked about like the command cards and stuff like that being print to play to start with, but you'll eventually be able to get them in like Battle Force boxes.
Okay, let's go down the list, starting with Blizzard Force, which is basically it's a box that comes with like a bunch of units to get you started on this faction, specifically the Blizzard Force Battle Force, which, like Shadow Collective, is just kind of a thematic restriction on what you're allowed to put into your list. But in addition to the minis, which we'll cover in a second, it does come with new battle cards that are specific to the Battle Force. So if you build your army using this list building restrictions, you can include these command cards, which are specific to them and presumably synergize quite well with them. The ones we see on Blizzard Force looks like a 1-pip called Unrelenting Fire. Shows some snow troopers with flamethrowers. 2 looks like Overwhelming Barrage. It's a little fuzzy. And the 3-pip is
Prepare for ground assault.
Prepare for ground assault. And the art on the 3-pip looks like the same art, or actually, the art from all 3 is the art on the front of the box, is cropped differently.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, that's cool.
Interestingly,
It's good art.
worth noting on the box, we see a snow trooper on a speeder bike. The box comes with speeder bikes, but it's scout troopers, which
Yeah,
is one
'cause
of the
The
all the
interesting thing, everyone's
Yeah.
commenting like, "Oh, is it going to be alternate sculpts of these old minis?" And from what we can tell, they're all the exact same as we've got before. This
Yeah.
is the same Vader from the core set, for example.
And snowtroopers. So
I was sort of hoping this maybe would be the point where they cut over from the PVC to the hard plastic, but it looks like it's not to be.
Yeah.
Not yet. But yeah, it is interesting.
Evan, God rest his soul. He's not dead, but he can still rest. I saw him suggesting that they just have all this leftover stock somewhere, and it's a good way to get rid of it. But I can.
I mean, but at the same time, they've been doing hard plastic for how long? And if they'd wanted to, you'd think that they could have started easing. Like basically being all like, okay, we're not going to do the PVC anymore. We'll start, easing into the sprues here or whatever. But I don't know.
So the box comes with Darth Vader, 2 speeder bikes, 3 snowtroopers, and an ATST, which seems pretty good for, a starter for Hoth.
It gives you a more complete army than the core set.
Yeah.
Come with Veers, but I think Vader is. Somebody ran on the streets more likely to buy a box that has Vader on it than Veers.
Yeah. Plus, it gives you another way to get that Commander Vader other than buying the core set.
That's true. Yeah, because that's one of the things that I like about these a lot is I did not buy. I didn't go in on the Empire. I sold off my Empire stuff right away. And I'm tempted, like, oh, maybe I get this box, paint them all up, put the snow on the bases. I've got my little Hoth set, especially if I do the Rebel version, then it'd be fun to smash them against each other for just the full-on Hoth theme. I think I might end up buying the battle forces, even of the factions I don't play in. Even if it's, not the most efficient list, using what comes out of that little box. It still might be fun to have.
Yeah, I haven't done the math on the efficiency dollar-wise, but they're $150 each, which is more than a core set. But you're getting
I'm
getting a lot of minis, maybe not as much as a core set, but more for one faction. For sure.
On another Discord server I am in, someone did do the math, and it varies from box to box, but on each of these Battle Force boxes, it's somewhere between you're saving between $50 and $75 by buying these Battle Forces versus buying the minis individually.
I guess if those boxes are huge, like a core box or bigger, that is another enticing reason for me to buy them, because I use the core boxes and glue sheets of metal in the bottom to store my magnetized minis in.
I'm guessing they're going to be smaller than the core box. They'll probably be somewhere around the size of the big vehicles, or possibly the really big the bunker was a slightly bigger box than the big vehicles like the AAT and stuff.
And with the thin cardboard still.
Yeah, I need that thick satin cardboard, not the little floppy stuff.
So
I like it firm.
So we got the box and what's coming in the box. We know these command cards. We don't, however, know what their force makeup is, and what other options they might have. Because you gotta assume that E-Web is going to be an option for them to take. It's just not in the box. General Veers has got to be an option for a commander. It's not on the box, but they did mention in the product description that it's also going to have what the hell was it? A heavy response stormtrooper unit, or what was it? Was that what it was? Heavy response?
Stormtrooper heavy response unit.
Yeah.
It does say a new Stormtrooper heavy response unit, so that's very interesting.
It's probably going to be a new unit
very weird
card that uses Snowtrooper minis, I would assume, because obviously there's no new minis shown on the back of the box.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Very weird wording for how... I don't know.
Although it does also only show... It shows so we got 3, 6, 7. It shows 7 units, but says it comes with 9 unit cards. So I wonder if we get 2 of those heavy stormtroopers.
Interesting.
Wait, what
Other
did it
random
say?
thing. Other random thing I'll point out is that it does say, not a complete game, Star Wars Legion core set or Essentials kit required to play. So it doesn't come with the tokens, the rulers, stuff like that you would normally get from, because it is a starter set, not a core kit. But
Yeah.
but still,
Well,
you can
still
easy to
get
buy
the
dice
yeah.
rules.
yeah, you don't really need that stuff. It would be easy to get the Essentials kit and still come out ahead compared to a core.
Okay. Let's look at the Echo-based Defenders, the counterpart here. And I think this is
love
the
the art on this box.
art is gorgeous. Leia leading the troops in the field, which she didn't do, but that's fine. It looks really cool.
No, it's not fine. Didn't you? Don't you remember when the Forces of Destiny cartoons, those like little 3-second cartoons came out, and like
Yeah.
there was one where like Leia told somebody in Echo Base to do something that in the movies it was actually General Raikan who said that line, and people freaked the fuck out. They're like, oh, they're erasing men from the movies. But
yeah, there's this great box art of Leia. Chewie and some Tauntauns and stuff are like also behind her, but they're covered up by the Star Wars Legion logo. You can only see them on the side of the box.
Yeah, it looks like Han riding on one of the Tauntauns. It's really cool.
It's that similar like officer kind of coat or whatever, fur coat.
Oh yeah.
So it comes
that
with.
would be rad if there was a unit card for Han on a Tauntaun.
Well, I've mentioned that in the past. Like that was one cool thing about the old, like, what was it, RuneScape? Was that Rune Wars? What was that other Fantasy Flight?
MMO?
No, the Fantasy Flight Minis game. That
the one that Evan likes.
The one that nobody but Evan plays in the entire world.
Rune Battle. Yeah, that one.
Rune
Audience says Rune Wars.
Rune Chasers. I don't know.
That minis game that was kind of cool that nobody liked and it died with the worms, the purple worms.
Yeah, actually, like a lot of the stuff Evans told me about the game does sound really cool, but I
get really close to buying it, like 4 years ago or something.
But one cool thing that they did is like all of their like hero commander expansions came with 2 versions of the commander, one where he's on his feet and one where he's riding some kind of mount. And I've talked about like that would be kind of cool to get like a Hoth Han, where you get like a 2-pack where you can either have him on the ground or on a Tauntaun, and he has different stats depending on, you have 2 different unit cards depending on which one you're playing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Speaking of Hoth versions of people, this is the big one where everyone, including myself, saw the box, sees Leia in the art, and goes, "Oh, do we get the Hoth version of Leia?" Because Hoth Leia is like my favorite costume for Leia. I'm happy the Imperial Assault one had that. It's again just the exact same sculpts from before, so it's still Endor Leia.
Yeah,
I'm quite excited about this one, contents wise. So an extra Leia and extra Chewie isn't really going to do anything for me, but it comes with 4 Rebel veterans.
Wow.
I currently own 2 Rebel veterans, so I could after this run max Rebel veterans. Comes with 2 Tauntauns. I only own 1 Tauntaun, so after buying this, I could run max Tauntauns. Comes with the 1.4 FD laser cannon. I only own 1 of those, so that's fine. And it comes with R2 and 3PO. I don't need, but it's very cool because I know a lot of people, even in my our local group, they're like, I wish I could have R2 and 3PO, but I'm not going to pay, $70, $80, whatever it is now, since the price went up.
For the escape pod.
Yeah, for this piece of terrain I don't need just to get
R2-D2. Those fools. It's one of the best models.
It is good.
But I'll point out, like, a lot of people were commenting online, like, oh, it says you can take R2, but you can't take 3PO. But it does come with him. He's not a separate unit, so they didn't mention him in one of the descriptions or something. I don't know. He's in there, and the Rebel veterans, at least shown on the box, do include the medium blaster as well. So there should be 4 of those as part of the same units, which is interesting because then that would be 8 unit cards, which is more than you can take. But
Yeah.
I
Well, it
assume
does
they probably
say
include the full unit.
Yeah, it does say it comes with 15 unit cards in the box.
Yeah,
so.
it would probably feel weird to
Probably
give you
is-
the veteran and not give them their little turret friend.
And it
even
could
if
be a
it-
special restriction. That they
yeah,
have
what
a
if-
different. We don't know the details on
Yeah,
the
it could be
unit
that
makeup.
Echo-based Defenders has a max of 8 core units.
Yeah, and here's another one where, because I think in one of the descriptions it did say you'll be able to take Han in this, didn't it?
That would make
Probably.
sense.
If I had to guess, because it's not too hard to guess what would be allowed in this battle force. T-47 seems obvious.
Yeah.
Interesting that they didn't include it in this box, but that's fine for me because I already have a second T-47 that I haven't opened yet. I'm very excited
Luke.
about this box.
Luke would make sense. He's even on the art on one of the cards.
Especially
Those are going to come in the T-47 versus AT-AT box.
Oh man, what if they did a Field Commander Luke that's in a T-47
That would be awesome.
pilot card? That's what I've wanted for a long time.
And then a special command card that's attack pattern Delta, and it only works if you take 3 T-47s all at the same time, and that's your whole army. You have no
You
ground
have to
troops.
say, go now. Attack Pattern Delta, go now. The command cards are Courage of the Rebellion, Hold at any cost. That's when they were in the call center at Echo Base. They called tech support and they're like, hold, keep them on hold. And then Delaying Tactics. So,
Which makes sense because it's like this. The battle at Hoth was this defensive thing where you're like, we just have to keep them out, and we'll all die, but the transports will get away.
and
right?
the
So-
artwork on that Courage of the Rebellion one, it's the crop from the art that has you see Leia, Chewie, and Han on the Tauntaun. That art is great. I'm
Yeah.
really excited for this because Hoth is one of my favorite battles. I've got enough stuff to like. This would like fill out my Hoth force, and then I'm like, okay, and then I'd probably paint these, so-called like official looking. So then, and actually like base them in snow rather than the rest of my army that's based differently. I don't know. I'm very excited for this.
Only
expansion.
other little tidbit I can see in the description, it says it also comes with the command cards for Leia and R2 and Chewie, in addition to the like unique ones. So, like if you don't have those units, you'll be able to use their command cards. I'm sure that's true for Vader in the Blizzard
Yeah,
Force
it
one as well.
said it came with that one.
I wonder if the generic they each one of these Force Command boxes is also coming with the generic command cards, copies of the 4 generic ones. I wonder if they're gonna have unique art in each box. That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Would be cool. I'm gonna assume no,
Yeah.
because that's just one extra step that didn't have to be taken. So I would assume they didn't take it. The next one is the 501st Legion box, which is also tempting me as someone who doesn't play Rebellion or the Republic. And okay, here I could just have like a little bite-sized chunk of Republic. Makes me feel like getting this. Although when I had all these feelings, I didn't realize these were $150 a piece. But this one comes with Anakin, 3 ARC Troopers, 2 Phase 2s, which is the least amount of core units of any of the Battle Force boxes we've looked at, and just 1 ATRT. This one feels like, I guess Republic is typically pretty low activation and expensive units, but this one does feel like it comes with like
I mean, it's a
less
lot of
going
special
on.
forces, right? Because the 3 ARC troopers would be. I wonder how they're going to do that, because if it came with 3, you'd get multiple copies of Echo and Fives. If it actually was full, expansions of the ARC troopers. So I wonder what they're going to do. But presumably, it'll be 3 regular squads and 3 strike teams. So I wonder if this Battle Force will have more special forces slots like the Shadow Collective does. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising. Pointed out in the chat by our wonderful patrons is that it's hard to come by ARC troopers these days. I guess you just can't find them in stores. So
They've
you
been
know what?
taking them all to put in this box.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we don't have the products. Just go run down to the shop, buy a few, and we'll repackage them. That's their command cards are called Lead from the Front, uh, Leaders of the 501st, and Tactical Planning. Feel like very boring names, but whatever.
Yeah, kind of compared to the others. They're not cool movie quotes like other ones, right?
Yeah,
But again, very cool art from the
art
box
is
again.
gorgeous.
Were there any interesting tidbits in the description here?
Bits of tid.
Uh,
I think I don't know if we mentioned it before, but I see here it says 32 reprinted upgrade cards. So
oh.
obviously any cards coming in these expansions will feature any errata, which is good.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but the
like,
box says it comes with 34 upgrade cards. So does that mean there's
well,
two
maybe
unique
two of them
ones?
aren't reprinted,
2 unique ones?
or 2 that didn't need to be. Those were the ones that they took from the ARC Trooper packs and then put them in the box. They technically weren't reprinted. They were just kind of hand-me-down.
I was trying to do the math quick on if this came with 3 copies of Echo and Fives, but that's too complicated for me to do.
Oh yeah, it's possible, they gave you all the cards for 3 things of ARC Troopers, but only 1 of Echo and 1 of Fives.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would do that. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I don't.
But it's a lot of work for them to split them up,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay, last one is the Separatist Invasion Force, which is also the least creative name, but I guess there's just so much less lore about the Separatist army. Like, they don't have like battalion names and stuff like the clones do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised they didn't call it like, well, Trade Federation or something, except it comes with Grievous, so I don't know. They gave up.
Yeah. This one I'll probably for sure be passing on because I don't need. The only thing I would really want out of here is a second tank because it comes with 1 AAT, 2 Droidicas, 4 B1 squads, 1 thing of Magna Guards, and Grievous, which is a fun grouping. I don't that also seems like the hardest to make a decent list out of if
Yeah.
you're starting with those, because like when you're running the tank, you typically don't want to run like a big hero character, but I don't know. Also, would have been nice to see B2s in there. So also because like we said, it's not really based around a theme. Like we had Hoth, and 501st. This is just kind of whatever. Like I don't know what the theme is here, so I'm curious if what the gist of the battle force is going to be. If they were just like, I guess restricting to these units makes a more interesting gameplay gimmick
Yeah,
or something.
it's not as tight theme as the other ones where it's a specific, very specific thing. And I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like they originally said it was going to be like a Naboo invasion, Trade Federation, but then they probably figured out, oh, there's no commander that fits with that, and they were like, I don't know what
They
to
still
do.
could have just put in like tactical droids, super tactical droids. I think would have been
Yeah.
fine
Or
as
Dooku. Dooku was present
Yeah.
on Naboo during the Clone Wars in at
Or
least
call
one episode.
call it like a Battle of Geonosis type of thing, right? And then you could have spider droids. I don't know, something. Who cares?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd be curious how they, because we know this isn't going to be the one and only wave of battle forces they do. So, uh, I think they're going to have a every time they're like, oh, let's do this for the Empire and this for the Rebels and this for the Republic, and then they'll go, oh, how about just like these units, I guess? Their command cards are called Unrelenting Assault, AI Communication, and Unstoppable Advance. Just the art on these is so good. I love the art on the covers, which are the art featured on the command cards.
Yeah, I think that and they've dropped hints about this battle force in the past, but like Kurt said, it was also sort of being described more as like a Naboo invasion type of thing. So plans may have changed, but I know in the past they mentioned it sounded like you were going to be able to take 8 core units with this particular battle force, so you could have 8 units of B1s.
Now that if that's the case, that makes this battle force super cool. Because
it would
that's
look cool
just
on the table,
ridiculous.
just a giant blob.
Yeah, just deploy them in neat rows, even if it's not tactically sensical. Just no, we're just gonna put them all in a row, all lined up.
It would be. It would also be cool
extra points if you
tanks.
if you like 3D print some sort of like what was it, MTT MMT?
I think it's MTT.
Yeah, like
MTT,
like a MTT thing, looking thing that just sort of like you like, it's almost like a bowling pin grabber.
Oh, sure.
And then you like push a button and it drops down a unit of B1s, and then you.
And then what about this? Whenever your B1s are killed, you like take clippers and just smash them into pieces. Like that guy's gone, or you like melt them on the table. We're playing like hard mode now. That's part of the Battle Force rules. That's confirmed. You have to do that. I don't know. I'm not seeing any other interesting tidbits in the description, other than the description says 3 units of B1 battle droids, not 4. So I don't see any other cool info in there, though. Yeah, I don't know what else. Probably B2s will be an option in the Battle Force. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. They got to have some kind of restrictions. I'm assuming. I don't know. I feel like there may be, like, even though it's not technically Naboo, they're maybe going for some sort of like pre-Geonosis feel to this. So like it can maybe see Staps being an option, but I don't.
That would be cool.
I don't know what else.
I bet then it has Magna Guards, which is, I mean, it's cool that you could get a force that includes Magna Guards with Grievous, but it's just not as thematically tight as the others, so it's hard to.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe you won't be able to take Dooku, or I feel like any restrictions is probably going to come around the commanders.
Probably no Maul.
Yeah,
maybe.
even
although that would be Naboo appropriate.
Yeah, even like the description of the box is just all like, it features a wide variety of droids. You know. Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to finally get the building, the Battle Force rules for this particular group, so we can finally see like, okay, what are you going for with this one?
What's your deal?
You had all summer to figure out what you think. Last thing I'll point out, who knows if this is going to be accurate, but the store page shows a release date of September 16th of this year. So maybe that's when they're coming out.
See, I feel like, I don't know, like you see September 16th, Evan saw September 16th when I go and look at the store page, it says August 19th for me.
That's what it says for me as well.
Oh, wait, okay, I just checked. Echo Base and Blizzard Force show August 19th. and 501st and Separatist show September 16th. So I guess it'll be kind of 2 different waves. if
I
they
don't
come
know.
out in time.
I thought when I looked before, all 4 of them showed August. At any
Who
rate,
knows? Maybe
whatever.
it's random every time you
Well,
load the page.
since we're looking at release dates, the IG series pack is October 21st,
Oh man, that's so far away.
and the swoop bikes are August 19th.
Oh, so the swoop bikes are a lot earlier than IG88. That's interesting.
Well,
I
they
wonder
did.
when the Mandalorian's
Well, I
in the
mean, you got to
store
remember they
Wednesday,
did show
Tuesday.
off the swoop bikes way back at last
true.
Ministravaganza. So.
Yeah, yeah.
So they've clearly been in the works for a while.
The only other thing they dropped on us today is so they announced the Battle of Yavin scenario pack for X-Wing miniatures at Celebration, and they put out an article today
Oh,
showing some of the stuff in there, which
It
looks
has
neat.
some details.
I've been
Um,
off the kind of X-Wing train for a while, but every time they show new stuff, I'm like, that's neat. I want to play that. Because it's basically sort of like what these battle forces are, just thematically restricted list building rules. And this pack in particular comes with unit cards that include all of the upgrades on the card. So there's also there's really no like you don't pick your upgrades. You just like, okay, Vader comes with marksmanship, hate, and afterburners.
yeah. These
And
standard loadouts are. I
yeah,
don't know,
which I
interesting.
could see, like for me personally, that's fine because anytime I want to like go back to X-Wing, I'm happy to keep it as like low brain power and casual as I can, just because I don't have time to give it any more than that right now. And I like the thematicness, but I could also,
it'll be interesting to see how many actually come in this box.
right.
It looks like
The
a
loadouts.
little thicker than some of the boxes,
They've
so it seems like it could be a bunch.
they've got the list of all the loadout ships that come in the
It,
box.
yeah, it's 20.
Oh,
It's
on the
only
store
20.
page?
It's only $25.
Like
Comes with
yeah, Garvin Drace, Luke, Jack, Biggs, Wedge, Han, Dutch, Tyree, Pops, and Hole, Oakland for the Rebels.
hey hole.
Hole.
Get your hole over here.
Let me tell you how I got my nickname.
And for the
Davish, Pops, Crail, and Hole Oakland. I've never heard of them. Let's look
Pops
that
is
up.
the Y-wing
Pops,
guy. That,
yeah,
keep your eye for enemy fighters or whatever. That guy.
yeah.
Hole Oakland was a male human who served as a starfighter pilot. You don't say. Wow, he's got a very little biography.
And for
The other cool thing that they wanted to point out in the article, which everyone's been commenting on, is, well, why is there a TIE interceptor on the box? They weren't at Battle of Yavin. So there's some words dedicated in the article too. Actually, we talked to Lucasfilm, and they said it was okay if we added this because they existed at the time. We don't see it on screen, but it like they could have been there like off screen. And then
Yeah.
it gives you more ships you can use, which is fun. So
yeah, they're
I thought
sort
it
of
was kinda
yeah,
cool.
they're sort of saying it's like they're at this point in history, there's prototype TIE interceptors that were part of the fleet that was around the Death Star. So yeah, so
Makes sense.
so the loadout cards for the Empire, they got Darth Vader, Backstabber, Mauler Mythal, Dark Curse, Wampa, and then in interceptors they have Iden Versio, and then Sigmas 4, 5, 6, and 7.
And those,
but they did mention that the stats for these prototype interceptors that are going to come in this box are going to be slightly different than the stat lines for standard interceptors.
that's
That's
interesting.
fair. I mean, I can see in the Iden card they have in the article, it has one shield on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
That's cool.
maybe
And
the dial's different. We don't know.
I just really love that we're like, well, they mentioned working with Lucasfilm. First of all, to shut people like us up who are like, well, that doesn't quite But also, I just think it's fun when you hear more behind the scenes things, even if it's just a little line that's like, oh yeah, they do actually get to have a little back and forth, and because we know that happens in things like with in Legion a lot of times. Atomic Mass Games had said with the Pike guys they needed a long gun for the Pikes, and there's no actual reference for that, so they designed one, and then they asked Lucasfilm like, does this work? And they were like, yeah, that's cool, go for it. And so like they're creating things too, and obviously the pinnacle of that was the Imperial Raider for X-Wing back in the day, was that fully brand new ship design. I
And
don't
a lot
know.
of
I
times
always think that's fun stuff.
they end up basically getting to pick the names of ships that haven't been named yet, like we're going to see in the Outer Rim expansion. Oh, there's a little scoop.
Oh yeah.
With Enfys Nest ship, which I don't think had, or at least didn't have a classification before. But they have what is it, like 4 or so of these standard loadout pilot cards in the article, and I gotta say the art's really good on these two.
One on Han
Like,
Solo's, I really like that one.
I really
Yeah.
like Iden's, how you can see the exhaust of an X-wing it's chasing reflected
Yeah.
in the
That's
cockpit.
really cool.
that's great. The
I
one
love that
thing
it's
I'll point out
the
that's weird about Han is there's like lasers coming out of the prongs.
headlights.
Is that?
Yeah,
is
that's
it
it's
the
like headlights.
shining. Okay, they're really
I mean,
really
we do
bright.
see that
Got it.
as headlights in, I think, Empire Strikes Back. We see those as headlights. Maybe they're also lasers, but
Well, I think isn't that also where like the concussion missiles shoot out of in Return of the Jedi when
Is
they
that-
Hope
blow up the
not.
Death Star?
I don't think we don't see him firing in A New Hope, because we
I
just
think
see
I think
the
it's from
effect
the
of it.
rear shot, so you don't get the
Yeah.
angle on it. Yeah. They wouldn't mess something like that up.
I don't know. It's a cool art. I really like the
a great
colors
angle.
in all of these. Just that something about the colors on the Falcon one reminds me of a little bit more old school Star Wars photos and stuff.
Yeah.
The Vader art, there's a lot of like purple in the trench that I think looks cool and almost feeds into the Force icon on the card. And then the one for Pops, there's just a lot of like light bleed from the lasers and the engines, and then the planet in the background.
I like
There's just so
I
much,
like the red of
it's
Yevon
just
in the
really
background.
good, yeah.
And there's like good like motion blurring, which you don't normally think of as a hand painting technique. You know, it just looks really good.
Yeah.
It's just
I like the one thing
I'm
though
once
is
again
Pops really
asking-
makes me miss good old offset engines Y-wing art.
Oh yeah.
What is it like? What was it? Was
the
it like?
Y-wing that was like
Yeah. was it Gray or Gold Squadron pilot in back in the original game? That was some
Yeah,
good
with,
art.
like,
I love
the-
that.
the nacelles were like the perspective was not done well. I would pay top dollar if they ever just managed to get the rights or the will to just release an art book of all the art they have in their catalog for these games.
Yeah, seriously, they should.
Just, it's like 90% of it is like, damn, I just love that, and then there's like 5% that's like, eh, and then there's another 5% that's like goofy,
And then there's like Rookie Pilot from
Yeah.
from Destiny.
or maybe Ezra. Ezra was weird in one of them. Also, in my opinion, Ahsoka in Imperial Assault had some real janky art, but for the most part, it's just always like stunning stuff.
The main thing we did not get in this article, I'll say, is really any info on the scenario that it comes with, other than it's Battle of Yavin, it's like a trench run in some capacity, but they just didn't really talk about that. So I'm sure we'll get that in a future article. It's kind of interesting that this is different from the Legion OP kit. This is actually like not a store kit that, or at least they're advertising it as something you should want to buy. Just to get
I
these
want to buy
things. And I mean, it's interesting because presumably these standard loadout cards are only usable with this scenario. You know, they're not like a standard play type thing, as far as I know.
Yeah, the article when I read made it sound like they're not meant for like competitive play or anything like that. So
Yeah.
but at the same time, even if you don't use them for competitive play, I mean, these standard loadouts certainly are going to make it easier for, like, you know, you and your kid to just slap down a few ships and play some X-Wing.
Mhm. That's the only kind of X-Wing I want to play right now, except I don't have a kid. I just have friends who go, yeah, all right. Unless anyone has anything else, I think that is it for today. Maybe we will reconvene tomorrow. Maybe this was everything they had for us.
Yeah, like we said,
I could see them trotting out some Ewok stuff. I could see them saying
Hope
this
so.
is it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and well, like we said, it sounds like there may be something on Saturday also, assuming they keep their tweets releases to like the same schedule as what was
Right.
going on with their original schedule. They did say, what was it? Was it this that they said they were going to be playing on stream next Tuesday? No, that's right. They said the one other thing they did mention that is the next Tuesday they're going to be playing Shadow Force or the Shadow Collective on stream, and at that point, that's when they are going to be releasing the updated RRG for Legion with all the mercenary rules in it, and I assume it'll also have all the Battle Force rules in the updated RRG as well. Then
It's gonna be a busy day for me because I'll be updating LegionQuickGuide.com, your best source for Legion rules, and sending me small amounts of your money.
Yeah, if you don't use Legion Quick Guide as a reference while you're playing your games, well, then you're a dummy.
Yep, that's the slogan.
That says it right on the top of the page.
That might be a little patronizing though, because once you're there, you're obviously using it.
It's sort of like
I have to be mailing people who I know aren't using it.
it's like the opposite of Olive Garden. It's like, you know, when you're here, your family. It's like when you're not here, you're a dummy. You're a moron.
I've got to see if I can get some user data because my site collects so much data from everybody, and then those people are safe. Anybody whose data I don't have, I will be targeting, just being like, "Hey, dummy." Anyways, Kurt, is your of the products shown that we talked about today? Which is the number one that you're most excited about?
Swoop bikes.
Okay, Leo.
Probably the IG droids for me, I guess.
I think I'd have to go with the swoop bikes or the IG droids.
Yeah, I guess we didn't talk too much about it, but you know, I hope the battle forces are good for a lot of people. I know for me, I'm honestly not planning to buy them because I don't need more copies of these things I already own.
I already
all
have
I want
all
is the
that
command
shit.
cards.
So
yeah, like I was saying, like the Echo base one would really supplement what I currently own, specifically for playing that Battle Force. I don't need it for normal play. The Separatists don't need any more of that stuff, and then the other two I don't play, so it would be a good thing for me to dip into those factions.
Yeah.
But for people like you, who it's not really of any value to, did they say what you can do about the command cards? Because obviously you could still play those battle forces even if you didn't buy the box, as long as you have the minis. So
for now, the command cards are going to be available as print and play. So you'll be able to. I'm assuming they'll just have a PDF out that you'll be able to print them. I would assume at some point we're going to get some kind of a like card pack 3. And that will include some of those Battle Force command cards in there.
that'd be neat.
I could see that.
Okay, well, that's it. Unless anyone has any closing thoughts or anybody in the audience needs to shout anything real quick, we'll probably sign off and maybe see you here tomorrow. So let us know what of these things is your most excited thing, or if the battle forces will be of any value to you, the kits, anyways. I'm excited for
Yeah.
battle forces regardless of the products they're attached to.
Do you want the swoop bikes? Do you want the IG droid? Do you want to mod IG droids onto your swoop bikes?
Oh, like the Clone Wars? Not the
Yes.
Clone Wars, just Clone Wars. And then you can put them in your Separatist army, like the Gendy guys with the jousting IG swoop bike guys.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us all those things in the comments, please. We love to hear it. We love to see what you have to say. Uh, thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.